Here's a little bit better view maybe. You put these in here, you want to make sure that the wheels are centered under your press. When you pull it down, it squares them up a little bit. So make sure they're nice and square. Go ahead and pull this back slightly. And we go ahead and put our nut on here, or torque wrench, and torque it. A lot of times I'll torque it slightly, then I'll loosen it, and I'll come back and pull it down again. This keeps the flywheels from being squeezed like this as you tighten the nut down. You release them slightly. Okay, we go ahead and pull these down. That was almost 400 right there. I give a little extra. Okay, we check our rod in play there. They're pretty tight. Checking our in-play right in here. Usually I like to see about 18 to 22 thou in-play. These ones are here are pretty close. We're probably in the 15 thou area. It's enough because it's going to be a low RPM motor. If it's going to be a hot rod motor that's revving all the time, I would definitely open that up. You want to make sure you got good oil flow through there and not be binding. When the flywheels start flopping like this, you want to make sure it doesn't lock up your rod set. Okay, so now we go in our tuning stand, which is over here. So let me transfer this over and get the camera set up. Okay, this can take a couple minutes to a day. The tighter the flywheels, the harder they are to true. And somebody tightened the hell out of these things. So get those inside the stand. Put those on there. You want to get these closest to the inside of the flywheel here as you can, because that's where most accuracy is at. Because they're picking out the tapers here on the outside edge. But you got to make sure you don't hit the crank pin nut. So in this case here, we get pretty close on this one. Okay, so initially we got quite a bit more on this side. I don't know if you can see both needles. Doesn't look like you can. You can see this one's moving quite a bit though. A little closer, you can maybe see it better. So that's the high spot right here. If you notice, that's kind of on the 90 degree bend area. This one here is high here. This one's high right here. So that means we need to shift the whole wheel down a little bit to straighten it up. So I just take my big wedge chisel here, jam it onto the flywheel to hold it. Take your little hammer here and go whack on it. And yes, I do hit it on the tapers. And if you notice, not much happened there. But it did move a little bit. It actually did move quite a bit. Now our high spot's up dead center on the crank pin. Up over here now, which is good. And that happens to be exactly where the other one is. So now both high spots are up here in the center. So that means we need to spread it at the bottom to spread them back out to get them straight. So we take the same chisel, stick it between the flywheels. We put a little bit of clearance in between our shafts so we got room to expand. And we give it a little shot right there. That wasn't very much. Just kind of get used to see what this flywheel wants for pressure. So that put us down there within about 4 thou on both. They're running pretty equal right now. So we need more of the same. So go ahead and give it the same thing, but a little bit more. Of course, it doesn't even want to go in there this time. But it did move, see? Okay, the right side's getting pretty close, the left side's not really moving too much. That's the left side of the bike, not in the jig. So this one here, we're actually high on the bottom now, so I didn't move it all the way to the other side. And this one over here, we have shifted to 90 degrees where it needs to be. So I'm going to wedge it from the other side. And this is just a back and forth movement until you get things where they need to be. Okay. Back high and top center again. Now most of our air is on the left side, which is going to take a lot of pressure to make it move. So there's two ways to do it. I can hit it really hard right here, or I can go over and put it in press and hit on the shaft directly. So I'm going to go ahead and hit it here, see what happens. So a little love tap there. Now we are using a lead hammer, so you can see how the lead takes the blunt with the hit. A lot of force and no damage to the flywheels when you hit them, unlike steel or brass. Okay, that took out half the air on our left flywheel. It looks like it didn't really do much to our right. That's good. That's what we're trying to do. That impact moves in a couple different planes at the same time. You always got to look at things in multiple angles. Okay, this is high directly on the bottom. And this one is high 90 degrees from the bottom. So we go back to getting it squared up again with a slight downward movement. So it's one of them double angle things again. Okay, the left side is half a line over there, which is a thou. And we're running about a full line here, which is 2/1000. So where's our angle at? So this shifted 90 on us. And this one's more high here, so it's kind of high. So I'm going to do, I'm just going to hit this side only. Okay. High right here still. This one's high slightly past. High right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wedge it this time. Instead of hitting it right here, I'm going to hit it a little bit higher up so there's more down than twisting. So you always got to look in multiple angles. If you try to do one thing at a time, it'll never get done. Because you just wind up chasing your tail, which means you keep doing the same thing over and over. You go in a circle. Okay, that shifted too much. We're way on both sides. And we got another interruption again. Alright, back at it. They say you don't get interrupted on Sundays. Okay, let's see. We went too far with the hit. So we got to back our hit up a little bit. So now we're high on that side. High on that side. So we have too much of a hit. So now we get to come back. Okay, where are we at now? Okay, we're still too far that way. And we got a lot more air on this side than that side, so we're going to have a big hit here. Okay, they look like they're relatively close together now. And it's still way off center. Okay, this one here needs a little bit right here. So there's our high spot. This one's high on center, so this one still is the one that's off, is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little wedge in there. Got to get the twist out of it. working opposite how it should be working for some reason. Okay, right at 90 again. Just past 90, so we're still here and here. It's still got twist in it. And it's high on this end, so I got to do more of my force instead of here is right here. Got to keep upping the power until it moves. Otherwise you just keep bouncing. Okay, we came back a little bit this time. And we're dead center on that side, so the same hit again. It moved about 3/4 the way we needed it, but we still need some more. So we'll give another hit. Okay, we're pretty much right on center there, just a tick past. And the other side's right together again. Okay, now we go back to our spreading it apart. Okay, now we're starting to see some activity now that matters. I don't know if you can see exactly the needle moving there or not. It's not moving much. Okay, we're back over here at almost 90 degrees again. And the other side, it's doing about the same. Still slightly more on this than that side. So I know it's got two problems still. So give it another hit right there. I don't think that was hard enough to do anything. Check it just to make sure. And it did move it. It's here now. Okay, we're equally high on both sides. So I need to spread it right over here, slightly off center. Okay, starting to look better. Okay, it's runnable right now, it's pretty good, but I'm never happy unless I get as close as I can. Okay, we're halfway around, and we're at 90, so we got the same basic problem we're going to have the whole time. We need to hit it more. And even though it's almost perfect, we're still going to hit it. Because it isn't perfect. Okay, just past 90, just past center. And this side's a little bit more past center this time. So we actually went a little bit too much on that direction. That's okay. Let me see, where are we at here? It has a tendency to go back that way when I do another bend, so I'm going to leave it. Okay, this one's at 90. Just passed. So just off center here. Can't see what I'm doing, I'm too far out, too close. So we're just off center now. Center's up right here, we're just ahead of it. Give it just a light little hit. Okay, we're now high way down here. And we're high up here, so it's hard to get two things out when they're that far apart. So that's about it we're going to get. So the problem is, camera I can see what I'm showing you. Pull that back a little bit. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, the problem is this one's high way down here toward the bottom, and this one here is high way up here by the crank pin. and they're 180 apart basically, so that means you would have to bend the flywheel like this at the crank pin, which is really hard to do. So you can see how the needles are barely moving. So we're really close. So if I worked on it for another hour, I might get it closer, maybe. Or I might just loosen up all the tape and have to retorque the nuts. That happens too. Alright, so this here, we got the crank screwed up, so now we're ready to go further down the road.